Welcome to Girl Dad Flag. I'm Eric Barrett. This is a podcast about female flag football for girl dads, moms, aunts, uncles, coaches, and anyone who wants to grow the game. This podcast consists of 4 segments. First up is the huddle. Second, we have a playbook section. Third, we have a quick news story or two about flag football. And for our finale, we have the dad-daughter draft, where we draft teams which are entered into our AI simulation to see who wins. First up, the huddle. This is where Finley tells us what happened in practice this week. And boy, did we have a big one this week. All right, and we're back from break. We're going to jump right into the huddle here. Finn, why don't you take us into a practice this week? What was one thing you learned at a practice, something, a piece of equipment, a technique, or something that you learned? Go ahead, explain it to us.
So I have practices every Tuesday night, and Tuesday night, one of my coaches bought a jug machine. What is like a football, like you mainly see them in baseball, and it's like the thing that launches the baseball like at the batter, and it's like that but for football, and it launches the football so you learn how to catch it. And I find that really fun because it teaches you how to like get your diamonds up and catch the ball and grip it. But it's also very fun because it's like leveling up. Like you can change the speed, and it's like you can keep going. Like maybe you're at 15 and you level up to 20, so it's like you get the level up kind of.
Yeah, the nice thing about the JUGS machine is it's consistent. We can line it up, point the ball at them, and it pretty much goes exactly where we want. It gives the girls an opportunity to work on technique. The technique that we teach is the diamond method, which Finley mentioned, and of course diamonds are a girl's best friend is the famous saying. But what we do is we take our 2 index fingers and our thumbs and we make an inverted diamond. You kind of want to wiggle your fingers a little bit, keep them loose. You don't want a rigid hand. You don't want that rigid fingers. You kind of want to keep them loose and flexible. And essentially what you're doing is you're looking the point of the football into the space of the diamond, encapsulating your hands around the ball. You want to keep your hands at eye level, and you want to have your hands fully extended out so you can see the ball. We have coaches that load up, and I think it's about 20 balls, Finn, you guys catch 12 to 20 balls. And
so last practice they did like a whole, like we have these little like tube kind of things to put them in, and last time they filled it up all the way to the top, so I would say around like 30.
Oh wow,
35.
really?
Yeah.
Geez, they're really leveling that up. And it's funny because you see this JUGS machine on a practice field, and we practice on a field with about 10 other teams, boys and girls in the league. And you can just see everybody's looking at this machine and wondering what it is. It's almost a distraction to the team because all the girls show up and they're just hyped for their turn on the machine. You know, you got girls fighting, it's my turn, it's my turn. It's like, don't worry, everybody will get your turn. We're trying to run a normal drill in the background, and we send one girl over to the JUGS machine. And the goal for the girls is to catch every ball. So we start them off at 5 miles per hour. If they catch every ball, next week we line them up to 10. 15, 20. We had one girl that I think is catching the balls about 50 miles an hour now. Do you know what you were up to today, Finn?
No. I think I might have been at like 15, 20.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So you started at 5 and you've worked your way up to 10 or 15. And I could tell you, too, you know, Finley plays primarily running back and quarterback, does a good bit of defense. But this weekend at the Cherry Blossom Tournament, she had a couple amazing catches, and it really took me by storm. And quite honestly, it's because of the JUGS machine. I mean, you can't simulate that throw and that speed and that rotation of the ball to the girls every time, and the consistency and the quickness. So one of the coaches has been talking about getting this JUGS machine for a while. We finally pulled the trigger, and it's really paid dividends already. I mean, we've had other dads at the practices going, hey, man, what are you guys doing here? Where can we get a JUGS machine? What's the deal with this thing? I got to have one. It's just been a lot of fun, and we're having a lot of fun with it, and it's going to be a part of our program. We use it every night. They're a lot of fun, don't you think, Finn?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's definitely the favorite highlight, I think, of every girl's practices. They get to go over to the JUGS machine and take a couple reps. So we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to jump into our next segment. So stay tuned.
Bye.
All right, and we're back, and we're into the playbook section of the podcast here. And what we're going to do in this segment is we're basically going to break down our favorite drill or maybe a play that we've learned and ran with a lot of success. But since this is our first pod, we're going to start with Finley's favorite drill. Finn, why don't you go ahead and tell the drill's name and explain it, and I'll kind of fill in any gaps that I can.
My favorite drill is called the double box drill. And it is like you set up two boxes like a couple feet away from each other. I would say 5, right?
Yeah, maybe 10 feet, 12 feet away. And we're going to post this drill on our Instagram page, on all of our socials, so you can see it. But I'd say that's right, about 12 feet apart.
And you have 2 cones. And one is the defense, and one is the wide receiver. The wide receiver is going to run at the defender and try and make a move and like juke them out and run into the box. And your goal is to catch the ball in the box and make sure that the defender doesn't like smack the ball down. So like you really just want to catch the ball in the end zone, quotation.
Yeah, so essentially what it is we take 3 cones and we line it up. We have a quarterback on the closest cone. The receiver lines up in their receiver position facing the cornerback. And what we're doing is we're forcing the receiver to run into the cornerback and make a decision to go into the left box or the right box. The cornerback has to react to that, and they can either try and jump the route or play defense and pull the flag. The offense, the receiver, is to get their heads around and their hands up, make a nice target for the receiver. We like to see the receiver catch the ball in the box and finish the drill, run through the box and head towards the end zone. We like to see the cornerbacks, proper technique, breaking down, breaking left or right, either trying to defend the ball or knock it down. It's a really great drill. Finley's favorite. It allows you to be pretty aggressive, works on a lot of things. Your quarterback is throwing accurately. Your cornerback is working on technique. Your receiver's working on route running, catching. It's a really great drill, and I advise everybody to jump on the website, podcast, and take a look at it. And if you have any comments, leave them on there for us. So we're going to take another break here and jump into the news segment. And coming up after that is our favorite segment, the one we're most excited for. So everybody stay tuned. All right, and welcome back, everybody. We're going to have a quick little news section here, basically just what's going on in the world of flag football. Some weeks we might spend a couple minutes on this. Some weeks we might just have a quick little, update of what we saw. And the news this week is the NFL draft just happened. It was out in Pittsburgh. I think they had something like 320,000 fans on night 1 and then an additional 500,000 to 2 days, breaking all kinds of records. The highlight for me each day was they basically had a group of female athletes on the stage, local Pittsburgh high schoolers. In the first round, Roger Goodell brought out the girls. They were alongside the tackle football boys, and you had the girls over there from the local high school. And it was really great just seeing the girls acknowledged within the sport. We're starting to get some credit, let everybody know we're here, and it's become a statewide sport. Pennsylvania and about, I think, 27 other states have certified it as a state for high school. So it's a growing sport. It's really exploding, and I'm excited because, girls had the path of basketball or soccer or lacrosse. They were the main popular sports, and flag football really had nowhere to go. So this is just exploding. It's creating opportunities for girls. They're getting scholarships, and programs are looking to do this. Flag is here. Girls are here to represent. So we're going to take a final break here and then get into our favorite portion. So stay tuned. All right, now on to the main event. This is our final segment. This is the one that we're really excited about. And basically what we're going to do is Finley and I are going to do a draft. We're going to draft a team of 5 players and a coach. We're going to pick a category every week and build a team based off of that and kind of talk about why we thought maybe this particular person, animal, thing, whatever it is a good quarterback, receiver, coach. And essentially what we're going to do this week is an animal draft. So Finn, why don't you go ahead and go first? Tell us who your coach is, what animal it is, and why you think that would be a good leader there.
So my coach is a axolotl. First, I really like axolotls. I think they're very cool, and I think they're a good coach because I feel like they're a very calm creature and they're always smiling.
There you go.
So it's like they're always happy with their team.
So it's the opposite of me. I wish I could be permanently smiling, but that's not always the case. But for my first choice for coach, I just went with a wise old owl. I'm kind of an older guy. I kind of, think I'm wise and know all the plays, so I went with an owl. Finn, why don't you tell us who your quarterback would be and why you think it would be good?
My quarterback is a kangaroo because kangaroos are tall, kind of. They have very strong arms, and it can launch it down the field. And they're so bouncy that if there's a blitzer, they can just bounce around and get away from that blitzer. And I think he reminds me, or she reminds me of, Jalen Hurts, the Eagles quarterback and NFL football tackle.
Really creative and great answer, Finn. I didn't see that one coming. So I chose an orangutan. I think they're one of the most strongest armed animals in nature. Just makes sense to me. Strong arm, good quarterback, orangutan. So that's what I went with. All right, Finn, next up is running back one. Why don't you go ahead and talk about what animal you chose for that?
My running back one is a cheetah because they're very fast and I
Agile.
feel like, yeah.
Shifty.
And I feel like they could shift around and make the defenders miss the flag and run down the field.
Very quick too, right? That's important for a running back. I would say that kind of explains you, very quick, shifty cheetah. I think that's a great choice. I went with a jackrabbit. Just something tiny, small, tough to catch, can accelerate quickly, get in and out of a break. I thought that was a good animal there. So why don't you go ahead and talk about a wide receiver one. What animal did you choose for that?
My wide receiver one is a lemur because a lot of people don't know, but they can jump 30 feet. And I feel like if the kangaroo can chuck it high, it can jump high and catch it and then run all the way into the end zone. Or for an extra point, it can jump up and catch it.
Sure, great call. I went with a giraffe for a very similar reason. We were kind of thinking the same thing there. Maybe, high point the ball, get it up in the end zones, have something tall, jump up there, grab it, come down with the conversion or the touchdown. I think they're both two good calls. Okay, let's talk about your wide receiver two. What were you thinking there?
My wide receiver two, I have a gorilla because gorillas are very strong and I feel like he could jump, grab the ball, and tuck it in and just sprint all the way forward and do all that stuff.
No, that's a great animal. The aggression, the physicality, the toughness when you think of a gorilla. And also, a lot of these players on the field play both sides of the ball. So a gorilla could be a really good defender and a really good receiver. I chose a zebra. I think that a zebra's fast. The illusion of the zebra, maybe you get confused with the ref stripes calling, maybe a trick play with the zebras, getting confused with the refs or something like that. Good straight line speed. I figured that would be a good animal to have on my squad. So why don't you go ahead and talk about what you think you selected for your center? Go ahead.
My center is a panther because I feel like the panther could snap it quickly, turn around before the blitzer gets there, and run around the blitzer and stand right where the blitzer was because that's always open. You feel like the panther is a fast creature too. When it catches it, it can just run down the field as fast as it possibly can.
Yeah, and they're stealthy too, right? Maybe
you
kind of forget about them. Nice little trick play, first down, short play, kind of just flip it to the stealthy panther. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I was thinking a little differently, classic lineman. I went with a big old boy, and I went with the hippopotamus. I love hippopotamuses. They're one of my favorite animals, and I feel like they can kind of get out of the way quick enough that they're not going to impede the blitzer, but still kind of make an impact on the field. So that's why I went with that. So we're going to take one more break here, and then we're going to get into a play-by-play of the game. We're going to put these teams together on the field and see what happens when these animals play. So stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Girl Dad Flag's first ever 5v5 Dad-Daughter Draft Showdown. Today, the Animal Kingdom takes center stage at GDF Arena. It matches up two elite flag football minds. First up is Team Finley, coached by the calm, unflappable, regenerative Axolotl. This young coach has proved a lot early in her career and has really taken the flag football community by storm. She matches up today versus the wily old, calculating veteran Coach Al, who helms Team Eric. In one corner, raw speed, explosion, and a kangaroo with some secret pouch. In the other corner, a veteran strategy, a cannon arm, and a wide receiver who doesn't need to leap because its neck is already 2 stories high. No pads, just flags. Bragging rights on the line. Let's play ball. The coaches come out for a coin toss, and Coach Axolotl says tails, and she makes a quip. Tails never fails, and if it does, I'll just regenerate a new one. Tails it is, and the appendage is safe for today, she proclaims, and we want the ball. The teams line up. It's Team Finley's ball. Panther snacks cleanly back to kangaroo. Now, fun fact, kangaroos cannot walk backwards. They are physically incapable of it. They can only move forward, which means when kangaroo fakes a handoff to cheetah, the entire defense fails to take the bait. There is literally no retreat, no second guessing, no going back. Kangaroo hops left, hops right, buys 3 seconds, pauses, looks, and launches a deep ball to Lemur. Lemur goes full Devontae Smith mode, leaps 30 feet up in the air, lands down in the end zone. Touchdown, Team Finley. After a successful 1-point conversion, the score is quickly Team Finley 7, Team Eric nothing. Coach Al's team takes the field. Hippo lines up and snarls, breath smelling of the pregame watermelon he consumed in one large bite pregame. Snaps it back to orangutan. He drops back, looks left, looks right. He sees Zebra running down the sideline. Finley's Panther moves to cover Zebra, but Zebra blends in with the referee and Panther hesitates. Zebra sneaks into the flat, completely open. Orangutan hits him with a dot, and Zebra rumbles 15 yards before Kangaroo cuts him off and pulls the flag. First down, Team Eric. Coach Al calmly looks into his playbook and goes to his play, hoot and shoot. Orangutan nods and takes the snap. Giraffe runs a corner out to the end zone, 20-foot neck already at the back pylon before the route is even finished. Orangutan launches the ball with his cannon arm. Did you know that orangutan's arm span can reach up to 7 feet, Finn? That's actually taller than Jordan Mailata.
What?
The giraffe doesn't even have to jump. It just reaches out, bam, catches the ball, touchdown. Giraffe snorts and hits his head around like a windmill. Touchdown, Team Eric. 1-point conversion is successful. Tie game after each possession. Second possession for Team Finley. Axolotl draws up a play in the dirt using a freshly regenerated limb, which is either inspiring or unsettling depending on your perspective. The call, trust the cheetah. Kangaroo hands off, cheetah goes left, cheetah cuts right and takes off.
Go cheetah!
The jackrabbit gives chase, and give credit where it's due. Rabbits can hit 45 miles per hour, but here's the problem. The cheetah accelerates from 0 to 70 miles per hour in 3 seconds. Cheetah takes 3 strides and hits full speed. The rabbit, approximately 1,000 strides to get up to 45 miles per hour. By the time the rabbit is warmed up, the cheetah is scored, celebrating, signing autographs, back on the sideline, and posing for her social media team. Team Axolotl cheering section goes wild. After another successful 1-point conversion, the score is Team Finley 14.
Let's go.
Team Eric 7. Second possession. It's Team Eric's ball. Coach Al asks the refs how much time is left remaining. The ref responds, 12 seconds, coach. Al's head rotates a full 270 degrees.
Who knew that?
And forces him to call a timeout. Coach Al takes a deep breath, floats 40 feet above the field, and draws up a trick play.
Oh, no.
Zebra lines up at quarterback. Orangutan goes wide. The snap goes to Zebra, who laterals back to Orangutan. Orangutan winds up and heaves a 40-yard bomb to Giraffe.
What?
Gorilla, who pleaded with Axolotl to allow her to man up Giraffe, is strong and visible, but just not tall enough as Giraffe again easily catches at the peak. His neck extended, 11 feet off the ground. Touchdown, Team Eric, as the clock expires.
Come on.
One untimed down follows, and Team Eric converts a 1-point play to go into a tie at the half, 14-14. It's halftime. Both coaches regroup. Axolotl regenerates, and Al stares. The second half begins with Coach Eric's team possessing the ball. During her halftime adjustments, Axolotl challenges her team to step up and cover Giraffe, who appeals unstoppable. Orangutan lines up his team and laughs as he notices the tiny lemur covering the Giraffe. Pounds his chest, which is a classic audible. Giraffe nods, knowing that he is running a go route. Lemur manages to stay close enough with the galloping Giraffe and executes its 30-feet leap. The ball is thrown. Lemur picks it off, comes down with a huge interception, turnover, huge momentum swing. Team Finley's ball. Kangaroo takes the snap, tucks the ball into its pouch like a lunchbox. Team Eric has absolutely no idea where the football went. Fun fact, Finn, did you know that a kangaroo's pouch is held shut by a drawstring muscle the kangaroo controls voluntarily? So that ball's not going anywhere.
What? I did not know that.
Hippo crashes the line. Kangaroo hops clean over him like Finley hops over the dirty laundry she leaves on her bedroom floor.
Hey.
Effortlessly, unbothered, and with zero plans to go back.
Hey.
At the last second, Kangaroo's daughter Joey jumps out from the pouch, grabs the ball a second before Hippo pulls Kangaroo's flag, pitches at the gorilla in the flat. Gorilla runs through zebra.
Run, gorilla.
Touchdown, Team Finley.
Yay.
An irate Hippo rushes the one-point attempt. Kangaroo misfires her throw into Hippo's giant belly, causing a giant watermelon-scented burp that rumbles the arena. Failed conversion. Team Finley 20, Team Eric 14. Team Eric's ball, down 20-14, knowing they only have a possession or two left. After 3 plays, all short gains, Team Eric is staring down the decision to punt or go for it. Coach Al delivers a sideline speech so wise it briefly makes the cheetah question his life choices. Al decides to go for it, and Orangutan is locked in. He takes the snap, rolls right, but Panther is all over him, applying relentless pressure. Orangutan pulls back and hurls a Hail Mary deep. But guess what? Giraffe clips rabbit mid-route, 20 feet of neck, zero spatial awareness. Zebra goes down, tripping over rabbit, creating a scene reminiscent of a brawl at the only watering hole at the Serengeti. Giraffe stumbles. The ball sails through the wreckage, untouched, and lands out of bounds. Dead ball. Team Axolotl
Good job,
ball.
defense.
Team Finley's ball. Coach Axolotl smiles. She's always smiling. Fun facts. Axolotls have a permanent upward curve to their mouth that makes them look happy even during the most stressful situations. Coach Axolotl wisely runs the ball to keep the clock moving, and on third down, Kangaroo takes the snap. She pump fakes the lemur. Lemur launches 30 feet skyward as a decoy, dragging every defender's eyes with him. Meanwhile, Gorilla, running a quiet seam route, completely ignored by everyone. Kangaroo hits Gorilla at the 5. Gorilla falls forward into the end zone. Touchdown!
Yeah!
Zebra tries to pull the flag but misses. Successful one-point conversion for Team Finley has them dominating the game 27-14 with only a few minutes left. Final possession, Coach Al calls a timeout. Head rotates another 270 degrees. It appears to spin around 3 or 4 times. Both eyes scan the field, the sky, the entire animal kingdom for answer. There are none. Al digs deep into the playbook, all the way to the bottom, past the good plays, past the decent plays, and pulls out the same trick play they already ran. Zebra at QB, orangutan wide.
Not this again.
Team Finley lines up and practically yawns. They've seen this before. The snap goes to Zebra. Lateral back to orangutan. Team Finley doesn't even flinch. They've seen this before. Cheetah's in orangutan's face before the ball leaves Zebra's hoofs. Orangutan panics, scrambles, and launches a desperate heave off his back foot. A wounded spiral, wobbling towards Giraffe 4 yards short. Cheetah, who has been waiting patiently for exactly this moment, laughs, kicks the ball away, ball down, clock at 0. Team Finley wins. Final score,
Yay!
Team Finley 27, Team Eric 14. The animals surround Axolotl and drench her with a water bucket bath in celebration.
Hey.
Both teams meet at the midfield, shake hands, congratulating each other on a game well played.
Good game.
Team Eric vowing a playback and rematch. So that's the podcast, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. We had fun with it. Finn, what did you think of the game?
I thought that was very competitive, and go Team Axolotl.
Girldadflag.com is our website. If you have any requests or questions, anything you want to talk about, maybe submit your team that you and your daughter maybe came up with. Clearly, Team Axolotl's ready for a challenge that I couldn't provide. So if you have a team or you want to post it on our Instagram, post it to our email. It's Eric@GirlDadFlag. We can enter your team in and see if you can take down Axolotl.
Bring it on.
We're really looking forward to the feedback that people have. Remember, folks, our tagline is, what is our tagline, Finn?
Just keep pulling flags.
Just keep popping those flags, folks.
Pop them flags.
Talk to you soon.